Hello everyone, this is for my senior capstone project, and today we have Ms. Vereen here. Hi Ms. Vereen, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you for asking. How are you?
I'm doing well. So Ms. Vereen, I have a bit of questions here, and I would like to have your understanding about these questions as well as like your time here at Highville. So, kind of like where you started, how did you become to fit in the role of a guidance counselor? What does being a guidance counselor mean to you?
So I would say about maybe like 13 or 14 years ago, I became a school counselor, not a guidance counselor. And I went on that journey because I initially thought I wanted to work with juveniles as a juvenile probation officer, but I also worked in a facility that had juveniles, and I decided that that wasn't the route that I wanted to go. Because I was in that facility, I wanted to try to get the students or the kids before they got into any type of detained situation. And so that's how I started the journey.
Okay, another question is kind of like transitioning. I would say, giving your flowers here, you kind of as you came into our school during our sophomore to junior transition, you really made it easier. It's having a guidance counselor, to always be there, and really to fly into that role. I wonder, how was that transition like for you? And did you see any challenges or difficulties, getting acclimated to the role here at Highville?
So transitioning as your school counselor to Highville, was it challenging? I would say not in the role of a school counselor. I would say it was a little bit more challenging because I wasn't used to being in the classroom every day. And so that's where I kind of had to fit, I tell you guys all the time, we got to figure this out, right? So that's how I had to figure some things out. But the transition actually was pretty smooth because of the welcoming that I received from students and staff and parents and things of that nature. So being the new kid on the block was kind of a little nervous, I would say, but the transition was smooth in terms of me knowing what I already know and already having experience in the role. It was in the classroom piece that was a little bit of a learning curve for me.
Got it. And with that being a school counselor, and really working with the curriculum, how was that like for you? Not only being a school counselor and working with students, but as well as teaching students as well.
I mean, it's fun. I get to have a good time. It's a lot of the curriculum is intentional because I know what you guys don't know, and so I want to make sure you know. And so everything that I do, it's to make sure you are equipped with the information that you need and to help build your skills up. So for me, it's fun.
Got it. And one last question here is, what is some as we move on to our postgraduate careers as well as moving on to the workforce or even college? So what is some advice that you would give to us as we look to further on?
I guess I would say one major advice would be pause. Right? Sometimes you just need to take a breath, pause, understand where you are and where you're going. And if you don't know where you're going, pause. Set those goals, create those steps, work your way backwards. If I know I want to go to law school, now I need a plan for how I get there. So just take a step, breathe, pause, and then plan. Make it actionable steps. And another form of advice I would say is listen. We do a lot of talking sometimes and we don't always listen. And so listen to the people in your life that are helping to guide you along the way, because they're not going to steer you in the wrong way.
Thank you, Ms. Vereen.
Thank you for having me.